The ninth process of the Align, Plan and Organize domain, called Manage Service Agreements, has 5 practices. The first practice is to identify the IT services. From a RACI charts perspective, the entities that are responsible for this practice include the business executives, the Chief Operating Officer, and the Chief Information Officer. The entity that is held accountable is the IT Service Manager. The practice receives no inputs from internal or external sources. It generates 2 outputs, which are the IT services gaps to the business to be used by several APO processes, and the definitions of standard services to be used by the APO5 process. The activities involved in this practice include assessing the current IT services and identifying any gaps with what the business activities require. The future business requirements from the IT services should be estimated and analyzed, where new or redesigned services could be needed. The IT services should be standardized and documented to allow for higher effectiveness and efficiency. The IT services portfolio should be regularly reviewed to identify any obsolete services, or identify practices that need to be changed. The second practice is to catalog the IT services. The entity that is responsible for this practice is the Chief Information Officer, while the entity that is held accountable is the IT Service Manager. The practice receives 3 inputs, which are the resources plan and the communication of the resourcing strategies from the EDM4 process, and the portfolio of programs from the APO5 process. The practice generates 1 output, which is the services catalogs to be used by the APO8 process. The activities involved in this practice include publishing the IT services and service packages in catalogs, and continually reviewing them and ensuring that they are up to date. Any updates to the catalogs should be communicated to the business management. The third practice is to define the service agreements. The entities that are responsible include the business executives, the Chief Information Officer, and the Head IT Operations. The entity that is held accountable is the IT Service Manager. The practice receives 2 inputs, which are the customer quality requirements from the APO11 process, and the SLA and OLA revisions from the BAI3 process. The practice generates 2 outputs, which are the service level agreements to be used by several APO and DSS processes, and the operational level agreements to be used by several DSS processes. The activities involved in this practice include analyzing the requirements for service agreements based on the business needs, such as the service performance, times, availability, and security. The service agreements should then be drafted, along with the operational agreements. Those agreements should be extended to include services provided by third-party suppliers.